As we grow older, life changes in ways we can't always predict. The pace of our days might slow down, our bodies may feel different, and the world around us can sometimes seem to be moving faster than we can keep up. For many people over 50, these changes bring a mix of emotions, some days filled with gratitude and wisdom, other days clouded by worry or a sense of loss. Staying positive in this stage of life isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about learning how to navigate life's changes with resilience, gratitude, and hope. It's about choosing to focus on what we can control and finding joy in the moments that truly matter. Think about someone like Carol, a 62-year-old retired teacher who had always been the center of her family's and community's activities. After retirement, she felt an unexpected emptiness. Her days no longer had the structure of the classroom, and she noticed her mood sinking. But instead of letting this feeling grow, Carol decided to make small, intentional changes. She began volunteering at a local library, joined a walking group, and learned to paint, something she had always wanted to try but never found the time for. Within months, her sense of purpose returned, and her outlook brightened. Carol's story is a reminder that positivity isn't something that just happens, it is something we actively create. The truth is, our brains are wired to notice the negative more than the positive. Scientists call it the negativity bias, and it's a survival mechanism that helped our ancestors stay alert to danger. But in modern life, especially as we age, this bias can keep us focused on problems instead of possibilities. The good news: our brains can change. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, remains active well into our later years. This means that with practice, we can train ourselves to think more positively, to notice what's going right, and to find meaning even in difficult situations. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through gratitude. And I don't just mean saying thank you when someone holds the door. I mean developing a daily habit of noticing and appreciating the small moments that bring us joy. A warm cup of coffee in the morning, a phone call from an old friend, the sound of birds outside the window. Studies have shown that keeping a simple gratitude journal, writing down 3 good things each day, can significantly improve mood and even physical health over time. Another important piece of staying positive as we age is connection. Loneliness is one of the greatest challenges for older adults, and it can have serious effects on both mental and physical health. Human beings are social creatures. We thrive when we feel seen, heard, and valued. That's why it is so important to maintain strong relationships or even build new ones later in life. This doesn't mean you have to be surrounded by people all the time. Quality matters more than quantity. Having even 1 or 2 close, supportive friends can make a world of difference. Technology can help bridge the gap. While nothing replaces face-to-face interaction, video calls, online classes, and social media can help us stay connected with loved ones across the miles. Learning to use these tools isn't just practical, it can also boost our confidence and keep our minds sharp. But connection isn't only about other people. It's also about staying connected to ourselves. As we age, we sometimes forget to check in with how we're truly feeling or what we genuinely need. Mindfulness, a simple practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, can help us tune into our thoughts and emotions with compassion. This doesn't have to mean sitting cross-legged for an hour. It can be as simple as taking 3 slow breaths before a meal, noticing the texture and flavor of your food, or pausing to watch the sunset. These small pauses help anchor us in the moment and remind us that even in uncertain times, there is beauty and peace available right now. Physical health plays a huge role in our mental outlook. Our minds and bodies are deeply connected, and when we take care of one, we help the other. Regular physical activity, whether it's walking, swimming, tai chi, or dancing, can release endorphins, the body's natural mood elevators. Exercise also supports brain health, reduces the risk of depression, and can help us sleep better. The key is to choose activities you enjoy so they become a natural part of your life, not a chore. Nutrition matters too. Eating a balanced diet rich in colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats gives our brains the fuel they need to function well. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in foods like salmon, walnuts, and flaxseed, are especially important for brain health and mood regulation. Hydration is another often overlooked factor. Even mild dehydration can affect mood and energy levels, so drinking enough water each day is a simple but powerful way to support positivity. And then there's the power of purpose. One of the biggest shifts people face after retirement or when children leave home is the loss of daily responsibilities that once gave structure and meaning to life. Without that sense of purpose, it's easy to feel adrift. But purpose doesn't have to mean a full-time job. It can be anything that gives you a reason to get up in the morning. For some, it's volunteering. For others, it's caring for grandchildren, tending a garden, or pursuing a creative passion. Purpose is personal, and when we find it, our days feel fuller. Our challenges seem smaller, and our hearts feel lighter. Sometimes staying positive means learning how to manage the thoughts and beliefs that hold us back. As we age, it's easy to fall into patterns of thinking like I am too old to try something new or it's too late to make a change. These thoughts can quietly limit our lives, keeping us from opportunities that could bring joy and growth. But these beliefs are not facts, they're simply habits of the mind, shaped by years of experience and cultural messages about aging. One powerful way to shift these patterns is to replace self-limiting thoughts with more empowering ones. Instead of saying, "I can't do that anymore," we can say, "I can try. And I'll do it in a way that works for me now." This subtle shift opens the door to new experiences and reinforces the idea that we still have agency over our lives. Take the example of James, a 70-year-old who used to run marathons in his 40s. Over time, knee problems made running painful, and he stopped exercising altogether, telling himself he just wasn't an active person anymore. But after a conversation with his doctor, James realized he didn't have to give up movement, he simply needed to adapt. He joined a local pool, started swimming 3 times a week, and soon found that not only did his body feel better, but his mood and confidence improved dramatically. This is what happens when we focus on what we can do rather than what we can see. Another essential aspect of staying positive is cultivating curiosity. A curious mind is an engaged mind, and engagement is deeply linked to emotional well-being. When we're curious, we approach life with openness and interest. And that energy can be contagious. Curiosity can be as simple as reading a book on a new topic, trying a recipe from another culture, learning a language, or exploring a local park we've never visited before. It doesn't matter how small the step, each new experience adds color to our lives and gives us something to look forward to. It's also important to remember that positivity doesn't mean avoiding difficult emotions. Life will bring losses, disappointments, and moments of uncertainty. Trying to force ourselves to just be happy all the time can actually create more stress. A healthier approach is to allow ourselves to feel those emotions, acknowledge them, and then gently guide ourselves back toward balance. One helpful practice for this is what psychologists call emotional reframing. For example, instead of seeing a rainy day as ruining plans, we might view it as a chance to slow down and rest. Over time, this habit of reframing helps us see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than permanent setbacks. Sleep is another often overlooked piece of the positivity puzzle. Poor sleep can affect mood, memory, and overall health, making it harder to stay optimistic. Establishing a consistent sleep routine, limiting caffeine in the afternoon, and creating a calming bedtime ritual like reading a book or listening to soothing music can dramatically improve both sleep quality and emotional resilience. As we get older, laughter becomes an incredibly valuable resource. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins, lowers stress hormones, and can even strengthen the immune system. Surrounding ourselves with people who make us laugh, watching a lighthearted movie, or simply finding humor in everyday life can be a simple but powerful way to lift our spirits. Don't underestimate the value of sharing that laughter with others. It not only strengthens relationships but also reminds us we're not alone in whatever we're going through. Spirituality, in whatever form it takes for you, can also be a profound source of positivity. For some, that means practicing a religion. For others, it's meditation, spending time in nature, or engaging in acts of kindness. The common thread is that spirituality connects us to something larger than ourselves, giving us a sense of meaning and belonging. This can be especially comforting in times of uncertainty, helping us stay grounded in what truly matters. There's also something deeply healing about giving. Helping others, whether through volunteering, mentoring, or simply being there for a friend, can boost our mood and provide a sense of purpose. It shifts our focus outward, reminding us of the impact we can have in the lives of others, no matter our age or circumstances. And the benefits go both ways. The people we help often give us just as much in return, through their gratitude, friendship, and shared humanity. Finally, we can't ignore the role of acceptance in staying positive. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or settling for less. It means recognizing reality as it is and working with it instead of against it. This might mean accepting changes in our bodies, adjusting our lifestyle to fit our energy levels, or letting go of old goals that no longer serve us. When we stop resisting what we can't change, we free up energy to focus on what we can improve, and that shift can make all the difference in how we feel each day. The truth is, positivity in later life isn't about chasing constant happiness. It's about building a foundation of habits, relationships, and mindsets that help us weather the storms and celebrate the sunshine. It's about making choices, day after day, that bring us closer to the life we want to live. When we put all these pieces together, gratitude, connection, curiosity, purpose, adaptability, rest, laughter, and acceptance, we create a kind of emotional toolkit that can carry us through any stage of life. This toolkit doesn't just help us cope with challenges. It helps us recognize and savor the richness of each moment, even the small ones we might have overlooked before. Imagine starting your day with a quiet moment of gratitude, sending a message to a friend just to say you're thinking of them, taking a short walk to breathe in the fresh air, and trying something you've never done before, no matter how small. These aren't grand gestures, but they add up, layer by layer, until positivity becomes your natural state. Let me share the story of Maria, a 68-year-old widow who, after losing her husband, felt her world shrink. For months, she stayed home, declining invitations, convinced that joy was something she had left behind. Then, one day, her granddaughter asked her to come to a pottery class. Maria resisted at first, telling herself it wasn't her thing. But she went, mostly to spend time with her granddaughter. By the end of that first class, she found herself smiling in a way she hadn't in years. She kept going back, met new friends, and eventually began selling her pottery at local fairs. Maria's life didn't suddenly become free of grief, but she learned that joy and sadness can exist side by side, and that opening herself to new experiences brought light back into her days. That's the essence of staying positive. It's not about erasing pain, but about making space for joy alongside it. Another truth is that positivity is a practice, not a destination. There will be days when it feels harder to find, when the weight of the past or worries about the future seem overwhelming. On those days, it's important to remember that even the smallest actions can make a difference. Putting on your favorite song, stepping outside for 5 minutes of sunshine, or sharing a laugh with someone you trust can gently shift your perspective, and over time, these small shifts add up to lasting change. Aging also brings with it the gift of perspective. We've lived through challenges before, and each one has taught us something. We've learned that hard times pass, that we are more resilient than we once believed, and that the things we thought would break us often became turning points toward growth. When we draw on this well of life experience, we can face new challenges with a sense of calm and confidence that younger versions of ourselves might not have had. It's also worth remembering that positivity is contagious. The way we approach life doesn't just affect us, it affects the people around us. By choosing to focus on what's good, by showing kindness, by finding humor in the everyday, we inspire others to do the same. This ripple effect can create stronger families, closer communities, and a more compassionate world. And perhaps one of the greatest gifts we can give younger generations is the example of a life well lived, one that shows aging can be a season of growth, creativity, and deep contentment. In the end, staying positive as we age isn't about denying the reality of change, it's about embracing it. It's about recognizing that each day is an opportunity to create meaning, to connect with others, and to discover new layers of ourselves. The challenges will come, but so will the moments of beauty, laughter, and love. Our job is to make room for them, to welcome them, and to let them remind us of what's possible. So if you're listening to this today and wondering where to start small. Choose one thing, just one that lifts your spirit. Maybe it's calling a friend, going for a short walk, writing down 3 things you're grateful for, or simply sitting quietly with a cup of tea and noticing the world around you. Then do it again tomorrow, and the next day. Over time, those small choices become the rhythm of your life, and that rhythm can carry you through whatever lies ahead. Aging is not the end of joy, it's an invitation to experience it in deeper, richer ways. It's a chapter where we can live with more intention, more appreciation, and more courage than ever before. And when we choose to stay positive, not in a forced way, but in a grounded, authentic way, we give ourselves the gift of a life that feels full, no matter the number of candles on the cake. Remember, the years ahead are not just about getting older, they're about getting wiser, kinder, and more open to the wonders that still await. Every sunrise is a new beginning. And every day is a chance to write a story worth remembering, so take a deep breath, step forward, and choose positivity, because the best of life can still be ahead.